a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, Consumer Quarterback Show. Appreciate you spending some time with us here on the show. We have Tyler making his debut. He's a manager of BlueGrey Mortgage. BlueGrey Mortgage on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hometown Heroes just re-upped some of their funding. We're going to talk about that, different loan programs. Also, tax time. It's tax time of the year. So self-employed borrowers, we're going to talk about a strategy that you want to understand when it comes to submitting, before you submit all those reports to your CPA, and, what will you be looking at purchasing real estate? You want to take that into consideration prior to. Also, Jared Parker coming up, Regional Economic Consulting Group. He's a plethora of information, a wealth of knowledge around the consulting business. We're going to talk with him more coming up on the show as well. I will let you know about Brio Tuscan Grill, and it's a great opportunity for you to come out and meet some of our expert contributors from the Consumer Quarterback Show and also our real estate team. So third Thursday of the month, we're having what we call our gratitude party, and it's a business mixer, and it's a social. You should come out and join us. It's going to be February 3rd. The third Thursday, which is February 15th, that is, 6 p.m. over at Brio Tuscan Grill. The official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, over at 2223 North West Shore Boulevard, a.k.a. the International Mall, so you can see it right out there as well. Brio Tuscan Grill. Say hello to Chef Oscar Ramirez, and the general manager's name is Joey, and they do a great job. The food is excellent, delicious. The salmon fresca is delicious. They have a Monday through Friday happy hour menu starting at $5 for some really awesome flatbreads and other appetizers as well. Great food. Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner in Tampa Bay, in Tampa for the Consumer Quarterback Show. And don't forget about the third Thursday. Save that date going forward. If you can't make it in February, come in March. Third Thursday of the month, come out and hang out with us and say hello to some of our expert contributors from the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. All right, we got a hot listing here. This is one of my favorite listings I've had in a while. This one's on the beach, on the Gulf of Mexico, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F. This is in Indian Shores, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, almost 2,000 square feet of living area, heated living space, beachfront condo, Indian Shores. It's a townhouse, beautiful property here. Updated. You have an updated kitchen with granite countertops, mosaic backsplash, and the best part is you walk out of your front unit, you walk past the pool, the heated pool, and you're right on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of Indian Shores. And yes, it can be rented out. It can be Airbnb'd. This property is a diamond in the rough. You got to take a look at it to see it, to believe it. It's a great opportunity right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Also, we got a commercial listing here at 2907 North Florida Avenue. 2907 North Florida Avenue. This commercial property, yes, we list commercial, residential, and vacant land property. So if you're thinking about selling a property, I would say you're leaving money on the table if you're not listing with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Why? Because we're featuring our listings live on air, maximizing the exposure, 80 outlets worldwide. So here's a great listing here. It's a $3 million commercial listing at 2907 North Florida Avenue in Tampa. 12,000 square foot total square footage. You have 7,200 plus heated square footage, 3/4 of an acre lot on a corner lot location. By the way, you got built-in revenue from the tenant in the smaller building, about $6,500 a month coming in from that current lease. You got ample parking, corner lot location, close proximity to downtown Tampa, one of the hottest real estate markets in the entire nation, one of the best places to live, work, and play. That is Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Yeah, I'm racing my class to those saving our ass overseas.
All right, Tyler, welcome into the show.
Thank you for having me, Brandon.
My pleasure. And so BlueGrey Mortgage, Hometown Heroes, rates are back in, a fair pricing point. I mean, I'm feeling the market starting to pick up. We put 8 properties under contract last week. What are you seeing on your end?
Likewise, it's definitely heating up. This is probably one of the busiest January we had in a long time. So
yeah,
applications definitely picking up, pre-approvals. We're sitting a lot out right now. So it's a good sign for the market. And again, we project that rates should be coming down, so hopefully we'll be in the low 6s, high fives probably
Yeah.
in the near future. So.
Yeah, I love that. And then, so the advice there for the consumer is don't wait. Get out there, get under contract, get some properties rolling, because once those rates do have that tick down, you're going to see potentially a feeding frenzy again,
Yes.
especially with these winter cold chills coming up, these winter storms, all the different geopolitical stuff happening.
100%.
People are moving to the great state of Florida and in record numbers.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I just think that right now is the opportunity where it's a slower time to go look for homes where things are still available, right? Because once that springtime hits, me and you both know it's going to be.
That's right.
It's going to be crazy.
Right around the corner.
Yep.
Talk to me about Hometown Heroes. What does that mean, and what kind of funds are allocated there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we just got an update yesterday that they are releasing what happened is there was loans that were that didn't close, right? That was using Hometown Heroes. So the remaining funds are being released now for a limited time. So again, it's very limited at this moment, but we did get some news that projection of July, in July of this year, we should have $100 million funding for Hometown Heroes, which is amazing. So.
Wow, $100 million. Now, didn't they loosen up the guidelines as far as what they're considering a hometown hero?
Yes, they sure did. So pretty much as long as you're working for a Florida company or a location in Florida, then you can qualify. You don't have to be a first time first responder. Or
First
whatnot.
responder,
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Paramedic. It used to be paramedic, first responder, et cetera. But now it's kind of opened up to anybody that's based in the state of Florida, a company that's based in Florida.
Correct. And I think a lot of questions people have, if I'm self-employed, do I qualify for that? Yes, you do. We do have to document that you work a certain amount of hours. I think it's 35 or 36 hours a week. So as long as we document it, we can definitely qualify even a self-employed clientele for Hometown Heroes.
Wow, that's awesome. And we always say support the local economy, folks, by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors. Why would you want to just walk into one of the big name banks on the corner, right? These are the guys that took the bailout money. They're lobbying with the politicians. They're doing all these nefarious things. The big banks, by the way, if you look it up, just pull them up. I don't have to say their names, but you can just pull them up. Every single year, they're getting hit with multi-million dollars, some are even in the billions, of just fraudulent deals. You had one of them that starts with a W a couple years back that started with that were creating fake accounts internally, creating fake accounts so they could spoof their standings and get better bonuses, etc. So work with a local lender right here in Tampa Bay. We're talking about BlueGreyMortgage.com. Tyler here in the house. He's one of our local area expert contributors. We always say work local, shop local, spend the money local, Tyler.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree with you more. So. And we know what we're doing, and we're doing this every day in this area, so we know the area very well, and we know what to expect and run the correct numbers for you.
Yeah. Now, talk to me about this dynamic, because when you have, like, for example, with our show, we've got a great CPA. We talk about Dwayne Bischoff with Bischoff and Associates, great CPA. But a lot of times, self-employed borrowers, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot, so to speak, when it comes to preparing taxes. Talk to me about that paradigm that people have and how sometimes they can get mixed up there.
Yeah, first thing is I feel bad for our self-employed clientele. We get the short end of the stick when it comes to the financing. A little bit more scrutiny or underwriting guidelines when it comes to self-employment income, because again, it fluctuates every year, right? So especially around this time where everybody's getting ready to file taxes, if you're planning to buy a house, you're self-employed, it's pretty, it would be a great idea to talk to a loan advisor right now. So that way you can talk to them, explain to them what your situation is. Like, hey, I want to buy this purchase price. I have this much for down payment and closing costs. What advice would you give me on my income? Like, what should I be doing, right? So that way you get pre-qualified and, know exactly where you need to be. Because I think as self-employed borrowers, we pay enough in taxes, but sometimes we would deduct too much of what we truly make. And that's what, unfortunately, the lender looks at is that net income, which can qualify you or disqualify you.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of a catch-22. You think, I'm going to write off as much as I can. I'm not going to claim as much. And then you find this beautiful home that you want to go buy.
Exactly.
And then it's like you're calling up Tyler with BlueGrey Mortgage, and you're saying, hey, I want to buy this, $500,000 home. And Tyler's running the numbers. He's like, well, you didn't quite.
Exactly. Yeah, you had $20,000, so it didn't work out, So. But yeah, and that's what we're here for. We work with a lot of self-employed borrowers, and we have different programs that can allocate qualification depending on your down payment. So we have stated income products where they take a 12-month of business deposits and use that 50% of that as income to qualify, right? So again, there's definitely alternatives out there. It just really depends on what is most important to you, because some people want to have the lower down payment, right? They want to do 5%, 10% down. So that's something that we'll have to use your tax return. So that's why we'll look at your 2022 tax returns, for example, and give you guidance and an idea, an estimate of where you need to be at to be able to qualify for this house.
Yeah, and if you just joined us, we're talking with Tyler, BlueGrayMortgage.com. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And if you look at the latest stats, I got the latest stats here. So if you look at, for example, Hillsborough County, we've got, this is the latest stats. Actually, it's a month, just 1 month in arrear, but the numbers just came out. You're looking at, between Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas, about a 70%, 75% absorption rate, 1.5 months supply of inventory. In any county, in our primary listening audience here, of course, we go across the state. We're doing deals out of state too. But talking about the Tampa Bay market here, for example, inventory is still somewhat low. Inventory is still somewhat tight. So what's your strategy there when it comes to getting the pre-approval, getting in early, making sure that you're doing things appropriately? Because when that buyer goes to the real estate agent, the listing agent, in many cases, they may work with a buyer agent, they may not, but that listing agent's going to want to see certain things in place. Talk to me about that dynamic.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, during the 2021 boom, right, where it was just crazy insane, we used to run, and we still do at this moment, we run the automated underwriter software, which is the AUS findings, which means that, hey, we went to underwriting and it got approved, right? So that document is very important. So again, we most of the time we do a TBD underwriting. So we'll receive your application, get all your documents in, submit it to the underwriter to review it, and then they'll give us a conditional approval. And that's something that you can show when you're preparing the offer as a realtor. So,
yeah, exactly. It means a lot more than just the, this. What is the pre-approval, pre-qual versus a pre-approval.
Yeah.
It's sometimes you don't really.
It's a big difference, and I think that's what again, the major banks, they'll give a pre-qual because you have depository accounts and they know kind of what your credit score is, whatnot, and they'll give you the pre-qual. But again, we fully get the documents, like your income documents, your asset documents, and really verify that, make sure that you're qualified. So.
Yeah. That's an important part of it. You want to make sure you have those in place and you're able to look at. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about the investor side. I also want to talk about veteran loans as well with Tyler and get into a little bit about the strategy too, because I think when people look at the ability to utilize 100% VA and maybe buy a duplex, triplex, quad, live in one unit, rent the other three out, you got the cash flow coming in, you're building wealth over time. 100%. We're going to talk about that here on the flip side of this quick break. Pay some bills on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1, at CQB Show on Insta and X and all those sites out there. Of course, YouTube. We're real close to hitting another benchmark on YouTube, and so please subscribe to the YouTube channel and also on Rumble as well. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or ConsumerQB.com.
I want to give a special thanks to Satellite Phone Store. They just hooked me up with this beautiful satellite phone, and it's a gorgeous phone. It's a great device. It's a safety device as well. Think about it. If you're out on the boat 40, 50 miles out, maybe you're going hunting or you're going hiking in the woods somewhere, you run out of cell phone service, or who knows, maybe a possible terrorist attack. It's not like our politicians aren't entrenched in all this stuff going on overseas, all over the place, all over the world. Could be a terrorist attack. They could attack the power grid. They could attack the cell phones. Who knows what they're going to attack next. Sat123.com/REQB. Sat for satellite. Sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Quick shout out to our friends over at Heights Soft Wash. Say hello to Ramin Kazami. He's the owner of the company, and he does a great job with all of your pressure washing. HeightsSoftWash.com. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take him up on those special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Big shout out to Ramin and his team over at Heights Soft Wash. They do a great job cleaning our real estate, commercial, residential properties, and make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. HeightsSoftWash.com. All right, we're back here in studio. Before we go back to our conversation around mortgage, investor loans, veterans loans as well, veterans programs, I want to let you know about a couple of our hot listings here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 6441 4th Palm Point, St. Pete Beach. This is a waterfront beauty, another beautiful waterfront listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. This property is 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2280 square feet, stunning views of Boca Ciega Bay. And I love the view here looking straight out the living room. It almost has that infinity style look where you're looking at the pool and the waterway, and then you got your boat dock there. Beautiful property, Boca Ciega Bay, St. Pete Beach. Great place to live, work, and play, and live that Florida lifestyle to the fullest. Bring your boat, bring your jet skis, your golf carts, and enjoy that Florida lifestyle at 6441 4th Palm Point, St. Pete Beach, Florida. Another one of our beautiful real estate listings here in Tampa Bay. Also, let's take a look at River Road in Newport Richey. We just did a price improvement over at 5930 River Road, Newport Richey. Now, this one's currently also owner-occupied, but it's also utilized as a Airbnb, VRBO, short-term rental. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath. You have 1964 square foot heated, over a half-acre lot on the river. You're on the Cody River here with 80 feet of frontage on the Cody River. 5930 River Road, Newport Richey, Florida. Formal dining room with a chandelier, stained glass windows, large picture window. You also have a Florida room, covered lanai. You have metal roof, stone construction, cypress wood shingles. Just a beautiful property here. Too many upgrades to list on the Consumer Quarterback Show, but you can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Make sure you stop by and check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Tyler, let's go back to the investor loan side, because investors have a great opportunity in this market. I mean, let's face it, you look at putting your money somewhere and you start thinking about, okay, the stock market, we've seen all the shenanigans over the years, all the different pump and dump schemes, all those different things. Mm-hmm. You come back to real estate, you have an insurable asset, something you can live in. It's a property, it's going to appreciate over time, of course, and you can buy it on some pretty awesome low down payment options now.
100%. This past year, they just rolled out with conventional financing at 5% down, up to 4 units.
Wow. And
as long as you occupy one of the units, either a duplex, quadplex, triplex, they can definitely make it happen. And we can use that future rental income for those other units to qualify you.
Wow, I love that. So in essence, let's say also a veteran could do this too, right? A
100%.
veteran can say, look, I'm going to put you 100%,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do 100% financing, I'm going to buy a quad,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to buy a 4-unit property, I'm going to live in one side, and I'm going to rent out all 3. Now, it may not be the best thing living next to your tenants, but sometimes, hey, look, you do that for a year or two, you do it again.
Exactly.
You do it again. Exactly. Now you got 10, 12 units at the end of 5 years, right?
Yep, I couldn't agree with you more. We just did one for a veteran last year, and she ended up buying a 4-plex and 100% financing, and had a great realtor that negotiated it down the price, and it was a great deal for her. So
I'm glad you said that, because negotiation is our strong suit. I'm a certified negotiation expert, and in this market, in this type of market, we're seeing some awesome deals. Oh, yeah. I mean, you got sellers coming to the table saying, hey, look, I get it. I've been on the market a little while. Let's make a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
They're saying, let's get the deal done.
And there's so many different ways at this point with using seller credit, right? When you're getting seller credit, you can use it to pay your closing costs or even get a rate buy down, right? So there's different strategies depending on what your needs are. So, but 100%, couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, so what Tyler's referring to there is that when you negotiate a deal, there's so many things you can negotiate. It's not just price, it's terms, it's closing date, it's post-occupancy agreements, it's credits. So an example, he's saying that the seller could give concessions to the closing. So then you take those concession dollars, use those for almost anything. I mean, there's certain criteria depending on the loan type, right? You can't use certain things for certain. But, the idea there, Tyler, is get creative.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get creative and do a deal that's going to make sense. So if you have a situation where the seller's, in a position where they, I want to say need to sell, but you do have some sellers that need to sell. They have to sell. Job transfers, school transfers. Maybe they're behind on payments. Maybe they lost a job. I mean, there's all these different scenarios where people have to sell: death, divorce, bankruptcies. You have a lot of scenarios there. But you can negotiate a heck of a deal these days in this market. So, folks, if you want to get a pre-approval, you want to get more information about these investor loans, or you want to talk to a great realtor team, mortgage team, reach out 727-263-3707. Just call or text the hotline. It's 727-263-3707. You can call or text that line. It's an off-air number. Sometimes I get people calling me saying, I'm not on the air now, am I? I say, no, you're not on the air. We're just going to talk some fun, friendly real estate here and see if we can help you out and get you onto a great path for, investment or retirement for your family, your future. 100%. And so if you just joined us, we're talking with Tyler. He's the manager over at BlueGreyMortgage.com, BlueGrey Mortgage Company here locally in Tampa Bay. Talk to me a little bit about your team. You got a great team over there, I hear.
Yeah, we do. We have 15 loan officers on our team. Definitely bilingual. We have Spanish-speaking loan officers, Chinese, even Greek. Greece. We have a Greek loan officer as well. She speaks fluent, right? So, again, awesome. Very diverse. Again, we have offices in St. Pete, Tampa, and also we just opened a branch out in Clearwater, so we're definitely in an area. So.
Nice. That's awesome, man. 3 office locations, convenient for the customer to meet, and
100%.
Speaking multiple languages. I mean, that's very helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then I get a Spanish, response, and I get a little bit of a, I can say un poquito español, amigo. I can get kind of close to there, and then the casa, and then So I need to maybe get in touch with your Spanish loan officer, see if they can help me through some of those situations.
100%.
But what do you have in terms of anything that you wanted to touch on? What about USDA? Are you still doing those types of loans? You seeing those?
Yeah, we're seeing it make a comeback, especially now that Hometown Heroes is just now coming back. But prior to that, it ran out of funds, so we're looking at different options. And clients were willing to be open to use the USDA, which is a more rural area, like somewhere in Pasco or whatnot. So I think purchase price wise, I'm sure you would agree. Some of the first time home buyers, they have to go a little bit further out of the city, to be able to obtain a house, right, that they want to live in. So which could be beneficial using the USDA, where again you don't have to put zero down payment, right, 100% financing. So
exactly. You talk about Zephyr Hills and some of those areas up north. You're able to get an acre of land. You maybe you buy a manufactured home, and you're bringing your RVs, your golf cars. 100%. The kids love it. They're riding dirt bikes out in the woods. Right. So you have that Tampa Bay lifestyle. Could be, you could be looking at beaches on one hand. You can go up to the a little bit more of the rural area in Pasco and Hernando, and so there's so many things you can do here in Tampa Bay. It truly is the best place in the nation to live, work, and play.
Yeah,
I really think I think that wholly. Let's take the last 45 seconds. How do you want people to connect with you? You want them to connect on social? You want them emailing you, calling you? How do you want to connect?
Yeah, you can follow me on social. It's Tyler Nguyen, which is N as in Nancy, Guyen, and you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, of course, BlueGreyMortgage.com. But my phone number is 813-767-5020.
Say that number one more time.
813-767-5020.
All right, they can connect directly, and also BlueGreyMortgage.com. Reach out there, and also ConsumerQB.com as well. You can see all of our expert contributors on our website, ConsumerQB.com. You can submit an email form there, too. We've gotten a great response the last couple of weeks as well with some of the content at ConsumerQB.com. And you can see all of our expert contributors: doctors, boating and yachting experts, jet pilots, self-defense experts, auto dealerships, water experts, criminal defense attorneys, so much more on the website. Tyler, thanks for coming in.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Brandon.
My pleasure. All right, taking a quick break. We're coming back with Jared Parker, Regional Economic Consulting, and we've got a great conversation coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect at Brandon Rhymes1, at CQB Show on Insta, as well as X, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty. We'll be right back.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.